Big ideas start with a spark. At Tassis, we use that spark to ignite the fire in ourselves and our kids. So with the trust we build and the knowledge we share, we can grow together and stand tall, creating opportunities to advance in business while setting an example for the next generation. Whether you are starting fresh in Portugal or expanding globally, we're here to support each other. This is more than a network. We are a community that sets the examples for the leaders of tomorrow. Join Tassis Paris business community and share your knowledge and insights. Scan the QR for more information. See you there.
Thank you very much for joining us today. It's a very emotional moment for me because when I arrived first in Portugal, I came across your interview. It was an inspiring interview in Startup Lisbon, and it inspired me to stay here in Portugal and try to do my business and my life here. Thank you very much.
That's wonderful to hear. Thank you so much.
Tell us please about your path and life path from Singapore to Portugal and why Portugal is still trending.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And morning. Thank you all so much for having me here. So before I launch into this, I mean, how many of you already know the Martinal brand? Just a show of hands, because okay, maybe less than a quarter, 20% of the audience. And how many of you have been here 5 years or less?
Less.
Okay, so about half. So my name is Chitra Stern, and I'm originally Singaporean of Indian heritage, and moved to London for my undergraduate degree and ended up staying on in London, became British, and then became Swiss because I met my husband in London at PricewaterhouseCoopers, and went on to do my MBA as well. I ended up being in London for 12 years. Then we did an amazing thing for us, which was to move to Portugal for some reasons. This was back in 2001. So we've been here 24 years together in business. This year actually marks our 25th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And, I suppose back then we didn't really think about what was going to be after 5 years. We were younger. I was 30. Was it 30? Yes, 31 when I moved to Portugal. Now, at that time, Portugal had been part of the European Union already for 15 years. The World Expo had just happened in Lisbon. And it was a very, very exciting time. Sorry, I should face both sides. Very, very exciting time in Portugal's history. And it was still the most undiscovered country in Western Europe. And we were assessing business opportunities across various fields and IT-enabled services. The internet had just sort of, taken off in a big way. And we also looked at real estate and tourism projects in Croatia and Portugal. And, comparing those two destinations, we felt, wow, Portugal, part of the European Union, the western coast of Europe, on the western coast of Europe, all the EU infrastructure funds were kicking in. So highways were being developed from the north to the south, east to the west in the Algarve. And, the Portuguese were such lovely people as well. Very understatement in a way. The Portuguese are introverts compared to Spaniards, for example. So we learned a lot about Portugal back at that point, and we made a leap. I mean, that's all I can say. In 2001, we bought a small house in Lagos. I don't know how many of you know the Algarve, but it's in the south and in the western Algarve. And we started our business in the garage, assessing various real estate projects, and and we decided on one in May of 2002 when we signed on our first project in Sagres. I don't know how many of you have been to Sagres, maybe even a show of hands.
I'm a lucky one to have been there with my husband and kids. It was amazing. And we have a lunch in fish restaurants there.
Thank you.
It is a great project.
Thank you so much. So we started that project in 2002 and opened Martinal, Sagres, the beach resort in 2010. It took us 8 years to build it out. So all the issues the previous speaker spoke about, we had to go through. We went up a huge learning curve about licensing, the different entities that have to give their their approval, about POC, it says the coastal plan, et cetera, et cetera. And we also faced the global financial crisis among our various challenges, and we had 4 kids in the process. So, there was a great period in our lives between 2002 and 2010. Then the next phase started in 2010 when we grew the hotel business from scratch in the corner of the country. And when you can do that and survive a global financial crisis as developers, we then had opportunities to look at NPAs and NPLs, non-performing assets and non-performing loans, and work with banks to turn these non-performing assets into performing ones. So we looked at various different opportunities, and we then opened in 2015 Martinhal Quinta do Lago, and it was always through acquisition with leveraging. With financing from the bank. Then we opened Martinhal Cascais in Quinta de Marinha, and we opened Martinhal Chiado in Baixa Chiado, Old Town of Lisbon. And we also diversified, our real estate portfolio, into other asset classes. So we did a commercial building in Parque das Nações. That was our new area, Parque das Nações Mar Villa, where we acquired a piece of land and the first big construction projects in Sagres, because we did one in Sagres, and then it was about acquisitions and renovation. And this was a huge project that started construction with commercial and branded residences. If you haven't been to Parque das Nações, please do go and have a look. We're quite proud of what we've achieved there. And schools. So we also founded the United Lisbon International School, and we're developing which is today part of the Duke's Education Group. And we're developing the rest of the hub, the Edu Hub, into, we think it's an innovative concept where,
Tell me more
where we'll have hybrid student accommodation, 440 units. If you've heard of the Social Hub, this is a new concept in student accommodation where, it's like a hotel. So yes, there are students there, but there are also, young professionals as well as, teachers living there, etc. So we're building that, and there's more. So watch this space in the next couple of years. The rest of that space is going to develop right next to the United Lisbon International School, and the school has 600 students. We had our first IB graduates last year, which it's such an immensely proud moment for us. And I suppose we're extra proud. You've heard me say I'm quite proud of these projects. Why? When we had to face the global financial crisis, little did we think that we'd face another crisis so soon, called COVID-19. And there were quite difficult times between 2020 and 2022. And in 2020, when the pandemic started, or when lockdown started, let's say, we had all these projects in construction and a school to open with 4 hotels closed. So immensely difficult times that we had to face. And, I guess the big lesson for us has been what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And, we've continued, to see through these projects. So that's the past. I think I can't see the clock anymore. But yeah. And now looking into the future, we're actually looking to bring the Martinhal brand to some other projects in Portugal. And what's happened is, you often hear now the young entrepreneurs talking about pivoting, and we've had to do it all along, I suppose. You need to, it's sort of catching the balls, that you're juggling in the air as you're running. You feel like you're Flash, for those of you who know the Marvel, a DC comic, actually, Flash. And so, we've got the branded residences in Orient. But we've also got the Martinhal Resorts, as you heard, which is part of the branded residence because it's a hotel with residences. But we're also developing now Martinhal Living, which is a residential brand. So bringing our knowledge and our expertise and our eye for quality and real estate development into the residential space, luxury residential space. You already heard about the school, but we're developing what is really PBSA, purpose-built student accommodation as a new asset class. But, like the social hub, which is now one opened in Porto, for those of you who are interested in PBSA, this is a very interesting new concept to look at.
You have such a great, successful experience in real estate development. And if you will start today, what secrets you can tell those people who just starting their development path here in Portugal?
The first thing to say, there's nothing secret about me. For those of you who go onto the internet and look up Chitra Stern, and there's so many talks I've done, and TEDx speeches. So there are a lot of secrets to be found for the researcher on the internet.
Tell us something that
starting
you didn't
today.
tell.
Yes. Look. That's the thing with time, right? As time passes, there are new opportunities. And you've already heard lots of speakers speaking about what opportunities exist out there. Today, what I would advise people, I've heard, all this advice, oh my God, licensing is tough. And, it is all very tough. And I would say, we welcome people who would like to do interesting projects to partner with us. And because we have, as foreign entrepreneurs, 24 years experience in this country. And, I'm very proud to say that, I've also done pro bono work with the government to help bring more foreign direct investment into the country. And, I received, the equivalent of the OBE and OBE in England here, which is a Medaglia do Merito, just before the end of last year. So we have good experience. We're, highly regarded as entrepreneurs who've done different projects. So go into partnership. Yes, you have to do the research, but I hear of many people coming in and, they want to do a big development project and then get caught with all these issues. I think there's much more information available out there, but there are also many more developers, who have the right experience to partner with. What else would I do? Apart from doing all your due diligence, that's nothing new. I think Portugal, I always say Portugal could double its economy if it really wants to. There's so many opportunities in Portugal, and some people come and tell me, oh, but it's all done, isn't it? And it's hardly done. You just have to walk between Parque das Nações and Santa Polónia and see how much more there is to be done in real estate just in Lisbon alone. South of the river, or as you head, to further south, there are several opportunities. So go north. We'd like to bring our Martinello brand to the north, to Porto, as a next step. And then there are the islands. So, people really have much more to look at, especially with, when we first arrived in the country, we had to take an old road between Lisbon and the Algarve, and the highway that connects, the Faro airport to Lagos ended in Albufeira. There's many more connections now, and there's going to be TGV, hopefully. New airport coming up at some point. I know that all this takes time, and, you need patient capital. That's, I think, very important. Things do take time here, and you've got to wait it out. So, what advice do I have? Yes, when you have a family office or family money, that you can partner with someone and wait, because people have to go through lots of hoops. I'll be the first one to say, but, we've learned it from ground up. I think this is one of the best places to live in the world. Yeah. We originally came for 5 years. So if you told me back then that I'd be here for 24 years later, I don't know. And the truth is, so many of the other markets have been discovering Portugal, and Portugal has been welcoming. Portugal does welcome foreigners with good projects and, a clear intention to do good things in Portugal. So, this is sort of a combination of learning and what I would advise people. And it's not just in real estate. There's so many other sectors, that you can bring your expertise to. Agro, tech, now defense. I mean, the world is changing rapidly, and that's the thing with the world. There are always changes, and you've just got to keep pivoting as entrepreneurs to look at what's next. I mean, I don't think we've ever taken a cookie cutter approach. Oh, we're going to take this and build it in the next place. So I think you've got to be flexible as entrepreneurs and investors.
So Portugal inspired you to be successful in family, in business, and in life. And as a woman, tell me, please, the secrets also how to manage all this.
I wish I had the secrets
of your life. 4 kids,
I don't know.
Business partnership with a husband.
Yes, we work together in the business. Most people ask me. I mean, look, I don't know whether they're secrets. It's the way I have, and as you can see, I mean, I don't get everything right. I think I haven't been very good at focusing on my health over the years, but I try every second of the day. And I think that's what you have to be prepared for. It is a roller coaster ride. I mean, my husband and I, we got married in the year 2000. Did we think that this would be such a roller coaster ride? And yeah, let's face it. I mean, look, in business, we've had to face so many different things. But I think the core, our family values, and both our families, giving us a lot of moral support. I come from an Indian family, he comes from a Swiss family, but we're quite similar in family values, has kept us together. Definitely having 4 kids has been the most amazing thing for us. And they have inspired us too. I mean, for those of you who don't know the Martinelli Hotels and Resorts, it is a lot about family. We focus on the luxury, end of the segment for families. And, it came through a discovery of us having children. My first son was born in 2002 as we started the business. And there was nowhere for us to go, as a sort of young, I mean, we were still young then anyway, couple wanting to go to luxury places. I mean, there were great places for kids, but, if you wanted to have good food, wine, and designer spaces, didn't exist. Now, I think also my husband and I have a lot of mutual respect for each other. You have to bring your ego down, and still be proud of each other. We are very complementary to each other. And, you do have to recognize who takes which stage as well. I mean, I'm the one actually who does do these kind of talks and, interviews, yes. And I often laugh and say, yeah, he does the real work, I mean. So there's a lot of, partnership is about that, mutual respect at home. And, he's a great husband, and, we don't have, because we're working together, there isn't this, if I take the kids, who's doing. We're completely good about whoever has to go to drama, if there's a business thing to do, that we can't miss, or sports event. I mean, you have to do that. And we've involved the kids in our businesses since the start as well. Wow. I'm not saying you treat them like pure adults. You got to explain them, what's going on. And they knew every step of what we were doing. So there was a lot of family commitment from them along the way. I still remember my 3-year-old daughter. This was in the thick of the global financial crisis. And, she'd look out the window. We had to move on site, literally, in 2009. And we lived in Sagres for 7 years. Kids took an hour to get to school, or hour and 15 minutes to get to school and back. So a lot of sacrifices. They didn't know it at the time. They took an hour and a quarter there and an hour and a quarter back. And she looked out the window and said, "Look, Mama, the hotel is almost ready." I mean, she'd obviously heard about, us wearing our construction hats, going on site, hotel getting ready with all the hoops that we had to jump through. One advice I would have as parents in a business with children is, don't hide everything from them. Use that as an opportunity to educate them. I mean, they don't need to go to a summer camp to learn about entrepreneurship, okay? You're right there. Take that opportunity. Don't, dumb it down too much for them, because you know what? Resilience, if you're building resilience, this is what they have to learn, in life. And, I might, of course, we're all helicopter parents or whatever these days, but compared to what, how we grew up as children. But, I really think this has been a core of our family unit. And, academic achievement is important. I'm also very proud to say my oldest is doing a master's in AI in London right now. Second is in Hochschule St. Gallen University in Switzerland, doing economics and data sciences. Third one is at École Hôtelière de Lausanne, doing hospitality business. And the fourth one is still in school at United, so he's only 14. But, allow them to pursue their passions in life, whatever, because that's what actually takes you through. If I had to think about what took us through all the challenges we've had, business challenges and otherwise, it's passion. It's a passion to make, this business happen, to execute on it. Because one thing is having an idea, the execution is everything, and it's hard. It's building teams. We've focused on building our management teams, which are the Martinial family, 500 plus staff, who many of them who've met at Martinial and have had children. And so, the passion for what you're doing is super important.
Wow, thank you. We are running out of time. And one single sentence, why Portugal is still trending for real estate development?
A single sentence. Well, I think, the core of it is I could talk about, inheritance tax, there's no inheritance tax here. I could talk about NHR 2.0 that everyone is, keenly watching, what's going to happen to this. And I could talk about golden visa funds. But, that's what, my TEDx talk, I went through this whole thing, relevant things in 2019, why Portugal is trending. But it's the people. I would question how many places people actually come and thank us for doing the projects that we're doing in this country. The government has thanked us. People in the government, people in the private sector come to us and say, thank you for doing this amazing project in my country. And I think this is Portugal's secret sauce, if you want. And, I know, of course, there is the rise of other political parties, and this always happens. I mean, every country in Europe is going through this. But I really do believe that Portugal has even more potential in the future, and real estate is still trending because people are escaping geopolitical situations elsewhere. I mean, it used to be golden visa for real estate, it's D7 now, so things are changing, and I think it will continue to trend. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.